Okay, so we're moving on to the opening remark. But just before that, we'll be having a video being played for us to like see get a glimpse of what the services being provided by Study Global in Nigeria. Simeon, please, can you play the video?
Anxiousness has got a hold of me. It's clouding up my vision, I can't see. Waiting patiently once came so easily. And now I waste days thinking about what it could be. My perspective's upside down. All I can see is the ground. I'm so tired of sitting around thinking about what could be. So I get up, I keep on walking. I shut my mouth, there's no time for talking. So I get up, I keep on walking. I shut my mouth, there's no time for talking. So I get up, talk is cheap if your actions don't speak. The reason why you've been given 2 feet is to move.
Okay, so that was just a glimpse of the services offered by Study Globally, and we look forward to having you reach out to us for any issues concerning studying abroad after these events. So we have an opening remark, which will be taken by Mr. Onyekachi Igwe, who happens to be our programs manager. Mr. Kachi.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to especially appreciate you all that have actually decided to be part of this event. Many thanks to Study Global in Nigeria. Many thanks to Society of Petroleum Engineers Port Harcourt session for their cooperation thus far. I want to appreciate every one of us who did find time to register online and also to be here. And they want to actually use their data and their time to be part of this event. I'm pretty sure that in the last few months that we'll be having webinars, a webinar like this is something that we are looking out for. Many people are actually looking forward to this webinar because we have with us persons who are from Canada, at least somebody from Canada with us. We'll be talking specifically about that geographic who have chosen Canada as their preference, speaking to us in different forums as to addressing areas of concern for each and every one of us. So my major take home from this is that I would like us to just settle down, sit back, relaxed, and hear from these seasoned professionals in their various fields, speak to us and answer those naughty questions that we have that brought us on our study abroad dreams. So why don't you use the chat box that's available for you to write down anything that you see as a question, and also your suggestions or your comments during the course of the interactions that we'll be having here, and engage with our team who are at the back end also, who will be giving you little tidbits on what we do. At the end of this program, the essence of this is to make sure that you also know what we do so that you can, after today, consult us and contact us so that we can guide you through your application process so that your dreams of studying abroad can actually be fulfilled. At this point in time and at this juncture, I would like to thank you especially for finding time to join us. And I'm promising you that no one will go back or leave this particular event the same. Thank you. Do have a swell time. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Kachi, for that wonderful opening remark. But please, can you go ahead with the keynote address?
The keynote address is going to be handled by me, but we're trying to introduce the keynote speaker. So, but let me just stand in at this moment to just give the address. The dream of every man or woman as it were is to make sure that they have a far enriching life, or live a fulfilled life. One of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that at the end of the day, he has that he or she is to have that self-actualization. So then a program like this is what everybody's looking out for. We are looking at this program to make sure that at the end of the day, one of our ultimate goals is to fulfill that dream. So then a program like this or a webinar like this is organized. So I'm asking us to sit back, just like I've given the welcome address, to sit back and listen, take our time to jot down points and listen to the seasoned professionals that we have here who will help us in our journey to study abroad. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you once again.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kachi, for that wonderful address. We're moving straight on to introducing our keynote speaker in the person of Promise Ekpo. Sorry, I hope I really pronounced the name correctly. Simeon, please, can you make her a co-host? Okay, so Promise Ekpo Osaine. Please, I hope I'm not murdering your name.
It's okay. Yeah.
The Promise is a Princeton University first-year PhD student at the computer science department, where her research interest is focused on the application of machine learning in healthcare, especially in the reduction of maternal and infant mortality. She is from Nigeria. She is currently the Facilities and Transportation Chair on the Graduate Students Government Executive Board in Princeton University. She also serves as a branding and marketing executive in Africa Summit for Princeton Communication Executive, Princeton African Graduate Association, and a member of Princeton Women in STEM Leadership Council. A first-class graduate of the Department of Computer Engineering, class of 2020, University of Benin. Promise was the best graduate student of her department with a CGPA of 4.7 over 4.75 or 5.0. She holds several awards such as Shell Undergraduate Scholarship in 2016, NNPC Quiz SP Conference 2018, Huawei and Glow Students Award for Academic Excellence 2019, and Michael Tower Scholarship 2020. Promise was an intern with Shell, where she developed technical skills in SQL, Python, and data management applications such as EP Catalog, SharePoint, and ASSAI. She was involved in the Shell Eco Marathon monitoring global projects, where she did sentiment analysis and reporting. She has also worked with Union Bank as a data engineer, where she did extract, transform, and load processing using SQL Server management tools and Visual Studio Code. After that, she joined Data Science Nigeria, where she worked on the Learn at Home Radio Education Technology Project, which focuses on providing excellent education to low-income children through voice recordings. Within 3 months, she was able to rank the website in the first position on the first page of Google. At the University of Benin, she held leadership roles such as Secretary General of Computer Engineering Association, Secretary General of Engineering Final Year Committee, Academic Coordinator of Gospel Pillars Campus Fellowship, University Coordinator of the Youth Journeys Club for Student Academic Outreach and Free Mentorship. Promise owns a mentorship platform aimed at improving the educational opportunities of students, and is the convener of the Get an Undergraduate a Scholarship projects. She plays piano for Community Church in Princeton, as well as Campus Fellowship, and you can connect with her via her LinkedIn page. Please see as stated below. Okay, thank you so much, Promise. It's really an honor to have you here. Your profile is really rich, and saying this, I'm very, very much convinced that we will be taking home a whole lot of packages after this session. So you have the floor now, please proceed.
Okay, thank you, everyone. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you, Queen Moses, for the introduction. Can you all hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So this is a lot, but then basically my name is Promise Ekpo Osaine, and I just resumed my PhD program at Princeton University. So it's an honor to be here, like I said earlier. So I just hope to talk a bit about the application process, and then majorly that, and then probably a bit about what is going on right now and things that things that people would need to know after they've resumed the graduate program, basically. So I have a very short slide of like 3 pages, and I'm going to share my screen. So basically, okay, so basically, I want to talk about where to start from in the graduate application process. This is an image from a website, and I've included a link to the website where you can find much more information. But I think it has like most of the things I need to talk about today. Yeah, so first of all, you need to like decide on a graduate program, whether you want to go for a master's or PhD, because I noticed that one of the issues that people have is like where to start from. There's a lot of information workload, like there are different scholarship routes, the different scholarships to the UK, the US and Canada. So I think like you have to like zero down, first of all, on like the country you want to go to and why you want to go there. So basically, if you're looking for a master's scholarship like to the UK, then it will also determine the kind of scholarships you will apply to. So you could apply to like scholarships like traveling scholarship, MasterCard scholarships, Commonwealth scholarships, and other scholarships like that. But then some of those scholarships normally have a condition that you to return to Nigeria immediately after your program, because especially scholarships like UK, like some of them are sponsored like some of them like that are sponsored by other oil companies will require you to come back to Nigeria immediately you are done. So you have to like check if you want to like let's say maybe you're hoping to stay in the US after your journey, or you're hoping to stay in Canada after your journey, then it's better you apply to like a different country. Yeah. So but I know MasterCard, like at University of Edinburgh scholarship, they don't warrant you to stay there like immediately you are done. So it's something you can consider. So like I said, there are different scholarships for masters and PhD program. Masters you have a lot, and PhD programs you have a lot. So that was for UK. Then for United States, like majorly the scholarship comes in forms of like, let's say a graduate assistantship where you're given a particular role to do in the department, and then probably research assistantships or as teaching assistantships. So basically you could be doing research teaching alongside with your program, and then you get paid for that, and you get paid a stipend, and then that stipend is just enough to cover your living expenses and your student's health plan and other things like that, basically. So and most times when you get this, like when you are admitted and given that kind of assistantship, your tuition is waived, so you don't have to pay for tuition. So but you need to be, like think about what is motivating you, like what do you really want. So that will determine whether you choose a master's or a PhD program. But generally PhD programs are like more funded compared to like master's program, and the idea is just simple. If you're going to be with them for like 5 years, you're going to be with a particular professor for 5 years, and then feel like you're going to come up with something tangible, like because you're going to have a lot of time to do research compared to if you're coming from a master's program. Because in the United States, like most PhD programs are like 5 years, are for like 5 years. The master's program are for like 2 years, and then that's it. And also about the PhD program, you can get a scholarship, you can get a fully funded admission to a PhD program directly from your undergrad. It's very possible, especially if you have a 2-1 or a first class. Yeah, so you don't need to essentially have completed a master's before going for a PhD program. Then the next thing here is to take the GRE. So basically, there are some examinations you need to take. Like currently, the GRE is waived for several universities. So you want to like check out the universities that have actually waived it, and then you can always request for GRE waivers. So it's something you can do. And then also, apart from the GRE, another important exam is the English proficiency test, which could be your IELTS or your TOEFL, basically. So you need to like, I think for the UK, the IELTS, UK and Canada, IELTS is preferred. And for US, they mostly like TOEFL. So also you have to check out the schools you're applying to be sure that they will accept TOEFL or IELTS. Like I know like Stanford University, they clearly want like TOEFL. They don't want IELTS. So you have to figure that out. Like I took the IELTS, so, but I think generally the IELTS is very much acceptable as well as the TOEFL. Just try to have a good enough score in it, basically. So yeah, so that's it. You can easily get the waiver, but then also know that the waivers, schools that don't wait to GRE at times, like they use it as a filter to reduce the number of people that apply to them. So I think like if you have the money, it's good to just take it, even though it can be waived. Just take it so that it would not limit the number of schools you can apply to. You can apply to more schools, basically. Yeah. And also, I think it depends on your subject area. Like if you're in biology, then at times the GRE is wait for, like the GRE might not be wait for the entire school, but it might be wait for a particular department. So like I said, you have to like Google to show yourself approved. Like you need to just, like most of the information you need is on Google, basically. So you need to just search whatever you think of, whatever you're not sure of, just search on Google, and then it will be easier for you to be able to get like good information. And try to ensure that you're getting information from the school's website. Like it's good to read what other people have written about it, but then if you are not sure about something, just go to the school website. You can also reach out to like graduate coordinators. They are there to help you to ensure that you have a smooth application, like when you're applying, basically you have a smooth process while you're applying. So you can reach out to program coordinator. Also, another mistake that people make is that they try to like write all these exams before they start reaching out to professors. So it's not something you have to do. Like I remember like I never took the GRE, but I took the IELTS because it was not waived for the schools I was applying to. But then, like I said, it varies. So I never took the GRE. So I was limited to, I had like, I was only able to apply to certain schools, and I showed that all those schools I was applying to, they waived the GRE basically. So like I said, I know that in this slide, the GRE is coming before the identification of potential research advisors, but I would recommend that even while you're preparing for the GRE, you're already reaching out to those supervisors, because those supervisors can be so influential. Like you don't want to know how influential they can be. Like I remember earlier this year, I reached out to, like last year, I reached out to a professor in October, and then I told him about my interest in joining his lab, and then he asked me to apply. I mentioned his name in my application, so I did that, and then I reached out to him and told him that I was done with the application. I was like after 4 days, and then he was like, okay, okay, and then that was just, I never heard from him again until this year, and that was like on January 15th, and then we scheduled for an interview the next week. That was like on the 23rd or so. But can you imagine that as I had that interview with that professor on Tuesday evening, like I had not heard back from the school before then. On Wednesday, I got a mail. The professor was in charge of 3 labs. He said, don't worry, I think you're perfect fit for me. I can work with you. And the professor was really like motivated to work with me. So the next day I got a message that you'll be recommended for admission. And then by Friday, I had the interview on Tuesday. By Friday, I got a mail with a fully funded offer from University of Notre Dame. So that was like under 3 days that happened. So that's how influential a professor can be in terms of like, in like you getting a scholarship. So you have to like try to reach out to those professors. And I know it's very tiring, like when you are doing it, because it's like so frustrating. You like have to start going to the departments and searching about each professor. And that was something I dreaded during the application process, because it was just so annoying. I was working was working an 8 to 5 job, and then when I come back from work, most times I was working on the island. I was staying on the mainland. When I get back from work, it's like 9 p.m. And trust me, I'm so tired. I really do not feel like doing anything. And then, but I just have to sit down and tell myself, you have to be serious, because one of my mentors, I remember what he was saying. He said, you have a gold mine in your hand, that you have a first class. If you don't use it, then you're on your own. There are many people that are just like you and they've already gotten this thing. So that was the thing that was really like motivating me to do that. So identifying the potential advisors, basically you need to come up with a draft. And what should be in your draft is, I think your first paragraph should be like you telling the professor like how you align with them. But some people might have a different approach, but this was my own approach. I say hi to the professor. Thank you because you've inspired me, so and so. Then I go on to tell the professor that I've read your papers, this and that. Like I've read maybe 2 of your papers, but basically I don't think like you want to read. When you're doing this for many professors, just go to Google Scholar, search out for their name, look through the papers there for the ones that align with what you want to do. So that's why another stressful thing is like filtering the professors that are in your area of research interest, and ensure that like what you want to do is not, your area is not an area that does not really have funding. So there are some areas that have funding, like if you're like, I'm doing machine learning in healthcare. So because of the whole COVID thing and a lot of things, there's a lot of grants for healthcare. So try not to have, and try not to be too like stiff. Like even if something is not directly what you want to do, just look at it like, can I do this? Like, is this an area that I can get funded for? I can get funding for, and then that's it. So don't just be too like flexible. Like when I was talking about machine learning in healthcare, I was talking about machine learning about terrorism. I was talking about infectious diseases. I was talking about also like maternal health. So all the professors that align with these different areas, I would send mails to them. So basically, like I said, when you go to Google Scholar, search for the recent work that the professors are working on, because at times their website is not up to date. So there you would see information about what they're doing. So you don't need to like read a paper that is like 30 pages. Like this is, you're shooting your shot randomly, so you don't have all that time. So basically you want to just read the abstract and see if you understand what they're talking about in the abstract, and then just summarize what you learned from the abstract in like maybe 3 sentences. So when you're sending mails to the professor, I think you should add it there. Like mine has this template, like I've read 2 of your papers on this and this. So basically just read the abstract, read the introduction, read the conclusion, just look at the method. You don't have to start reading it like line by line, because you're doing that, you're going to waste a lot of time, like on some professors that will not even reply you. So just ensure you understand what the paper is doing and then mention it. And then I go on to mention like my things about me, like my name is Promise. I mean, this is what I do currently. These are the skills I have. I have teaching and research experience. So I would like to inquire whether you take me in for into your lab. Like I would like to do my PhD program under your supervision, and then I will always. And this line is also important. I will always be available for video calls, and for further information, I'll always be available for video calls. So it's good, like you're kind of like put it on your mind to like think, okay, maybe do I find this person interesting? Okay, if I do, I can reach out to him or her for a Zoom meeting, and the person is going to be fine. So do that. And another thing about this is that after 2 weeks, when you are done, ensure you send a reminder to the professor, because like the Notre Dame professor, okay, I didn't remind him, it's true, but then I was praying a lot at that point in time. Anyways, the other one, the Princeton professor, I had to send a reminder because I think she did not see the email the first time. And when you're sending a reminder, send it as a reply to the first email you sent. And like I said about the email, you need to add your CV and your statement of purpose, and probably your transcript. So another thing I would like to talk about is the transcript. Like I know getting a transcript in Nigeria is very hard. So there's a way I went about like presenting my own information, even though I did not have like my transcript when I was mailing the professors. So there are different ways you can do it. From your school portal, you can download everything that's your result information from your school portal. You can request for your results, like for each grade, for each course you did and the grade you had in them, to be like sent for your course advisor to compile them, and then your HOD gets to sign. So I have a video I did on that for you on YouTube, which I would share later, like at the end of this slide. But basically, that's what I did. So if you don't have your transcript, you don't have to like wait till you get your transcript before you start like reaching out to supervisors, honestly. So that's another thing. Then what else? Yeah, I said reminder emails, very important. So, and also when you start doing this, like the first 10 emails you sent, you might not get a response. Doesn't mean that you are not a good candidate. It just means that probably the professors don't have funding, or they are so busy. Like I didn't have an idea of how busy the professors could be until I came over here. Like a professor will have like maybe 15 to 16 people in their labs. They have to write grants. Some of them are still teaching and different things like that. So it makes it very hard for, very easy for them to miss emails. Apart from that, like ensure, there's a time zone difference between Nigeria and the United States. So try to ensure that you are sending your emails like when they would be in front of their laptop. So what do I mean? If it's 12 p.m. in Nigeria, then it's like 6 a.m., let's say somewhere in the US, then the professor might not be on they may not be on their system by that 6 a.m. So what you want to do is that you want to schedule, like when you send your email, even though you don't have it, so let's say you send it by 10 p.m. When you are sending emails, there's a way there's an interface that comes, it says send, then by the right part, you see an inverted arrow. You click on that inverted arrow to say schedule. So just schedule it to the time the professor will be on their system. Let's say maybe between like 10 a.m., 12 p.m., just around that time. Just do the calculation of the time that they will most likely be on the system. So that's another thing you can watch out for. So even if you are busy and you send all your emails in the night, just schedule them for the appropriate time, and then they get delivered at that reasonable time. So that's what I said. Identify the potential supervisors and contact them and apply for NSF. No, this is for US citizens. So you cannot apply for NSF. So the next thing now is applying for this, like sending your application and filling the application forms, basically. So you want to be careful with the deadlines, like ensure that you have the deadlines of all the schools you want to apply to, like be very careful so that you don't end up like forgetting about the deadlines, and then you end up missing them and also you have to check for the funding deadlines. Like even if some schools have a deadline, they still have a different funding deadline. So you need to figure that out. Like I remember when I was applying to Cambridge University, the deadline was supposed to be 7th of February this year. And then when it was that week before the deadline, like I remember just checking and I saw that the funding deadline was like in January. So even though the application the application deadline has not elapsed, like the funding deadline, like those they prioritize for funding might have elapsed. So you want to check both the funding deadline and the original deadline as well. So applying draft personal statements. Yeah, so the personal statements, like you have to check out like this is how it goes. Some people like to just get somebody else's own and then they are editing it. But I don't really like that approach because it takes away like the authenticity of your own experience, you understand? So like I've been spoken to like some professors here, like 2 professors, because there's this LEAP program for which I'm a mentor for, and we were like giving an onboarding before we were allowed to mentor others. Like they were saying that in the personal statement, they want to see your passion majorly and then how you write. So don't make your personal statement to be another CV again. So some people will just start listing every single thing they have in their CV, such a way that the statement of purpose is almost a CV. Don't do that. Like try to show like the passion. Then also, if you have like grades that are not very good, this on the statement of purpose, ensure that you explain the reason you had those grades. Because the professors can forgive you if they can understand. Maybe you're taking care of a sick relative or something. There are some things that can just happen and then you have a low grade. So you want to like figure out what you want to ensure that that is very clear. The statement of purpose. And also when you are relating the project you've worked on, ensure you have like you explain the situation, the situation, like what needed to be done and what you did. And even if you did an internship, you have to try to try to focus on like what you did and what the impact of what you did was on. It's okay to say what you learned, but they also want to see like what you did as well. So I have some videos as well on my YouTube channel for personal statement. Like there's one in which I read the Princeton statement of purpose, another one in which I put in how to draft, like what you should know before drafting a statement of purpose. Like you might not really want to draft it because you don't know where to start from, but then a very easy way to start is just by writing out bullet points. Like you think about like what leadership experiences I have, list them out, even if it's 4. Just try to think about it like stage by stage. What did I do in my first year? What did I do in my second year? What have I been doing in my place of work? That kind of thing. So when you have those bullet points, then it becomes clearer to you what to do, because you are able to you have something you are going to develop on. So you don't have, and the bullet points does not have to be perfect. It can be scattered. It can be, just have a list of like leadership experiences, your extracurricular activities. If you are good in playing any instrument or in playing any kind of sport, you need to like mention it as well. Then yeah, basically you need to do that. And then also your passion, you have to ask yourself, what was the thing that made me develop interest in this area? And then most times it's very reasonable if your passion is like, if there's a problem you want to solve, that's why you're going to that area. So that's good to kind of go about it. Then in letters of recommendations, you need to like, some people feel like you need a professor to recommend you, but that's not necessarily the case, because like, I know like in Nigerian institution, getting a professor to recommend you, oh my God. At times they have a template, like they'll just remove that other person's name and put in your name. And then at times that's not really like good enough. And then most of those letters of recommendation, they're not even up to a page. So letter of recommendation is something that is very important when it comes to the application process, because you need to see how intelligent the student is, what your working relationship with others is, were you responsible? Because another thing is that for someone to write a recommendation letter for you, you have to be responsible. They must have felt your impact. That's why they're going to write it to. They want to see all that. That's why they ask you for it. And it's very good for you to say something good about yourself, but then very easy rather. But then what does someone else have to say about you? So that's why they ask for letter of recommendation. So a mistake I made when I was doing this was that I was always like, I did not let my recommenders know on time the scholarship I was applying for. So I would always let them know like a week to the deadline, which was not good. So try to allow your recommenders like have a good length of time, maybe a month to the deadline, so that, or even as soon as possible, maybe 2 months, in fact, just tell them I'm going to apply for this, I need a letter of recommendation, and try to see if you can get a good sample that they can work with, because some of them don't really like, the same way you are finding it hard to sit down and start your statement of purpose, the same way they're going to find it hard to sit down and start writing a reference letter. So if there's something they can like refer to, if you're giving them a template of what you need them to write, then to be easier for them. Like I said, they don't have to be professors. Go for people that will write something good about you compared to like going for professors. Because, and also you don't have to mention that they are not professors. Just put, when you write them their names at the end of the day, put lecturer, comma, and add the person's name. So you don't need to go and put that, oh, Mr. this or engineer this, and then it's not obvious that the person is not a professor. Then get official transcript. I've explained this. Try to work on this as soon as possible. But then while you're working on that, doesn't mean you cannot apply. Like I said, I have a video where I kind of explained this official transcript thing very well, which you should like look up. How many minutes do I have? Okay, I think I have like 7 minutes. Okay, so if invited or accepted on campus interview with advisors. So basically, if you initiated a conversation with a professor before now, then you would not need to go through you already know who you're going to work with, basically. So then you can accept and decline offers. So don't be in a rush when you get an offer to quickly accept it. Like, I think there's this date, it was April 15th for this year, in which after that date, you cannot like, after that date, all the offers that they've given you becomes invalid if you've not accepted them. And so when you're accepting offers, try to relax, because if you apply to several schools, don't just accept the first offer you get. Try to wait to get the feedback from all the applications, because as the school is giving you that April 15th as the date for you to accept the offer, it means that they will all turn in their offers before April 15th. So accept offers another thing people don't have is like soft skills. Write very politely, like when you're writing to these professors, write very politely. Like, I don't know, this line that says, "I'll be grateful if my request is accepted." I don't know, I don't really like that line. Instead, just go for, I look forward to a favorable response from you or something. Don't go to a if or the kind of things like some professors might not like it. And then accept the offer you like. Like, I got like several offers. I had to accept the Princeton offer. Then I had to decline the University of Notre Dame offer. And I had to explain to the professor, like, when you are declining an offer, ensure you like give a good explanation to professors so that after that time you guys can still be friends. And just come and say, "I'd like to decline your offer." No, you were the one that initiated this conversation and reached out to the professor in the first place. So you have to explain, "Oh, I really look forward to collaborating with you in the future. Having considered everything, I decided to attend this university because of this. There's nothing wrong with the program. I love," because some of them, when you decline them, they feel like maybe there's something wrong with their program, which is not the case. So that is it. So I'll go to the last slide. And am I missing anything? So before you come here, ensure like I would advise, like, if you're working a job, try to resign like a month to the time you're leaving, because like if you don't resign, it's like you're not going to rest at all. And that was something I wish I did. I wish I resigned like way earlier before I came in, because like when you come here, there's still work for you to do. And also don't be isolated as well. And also, nothing in personal statement, it's good for someone else to have a look after you write it. Although like there are some things that should be there. So I have a video that says how to review your statement of purpose yourself. It talks about like some things that should be there. So make sure that those things are there before you're giving someone else to review for you. So this is the last slide, basically. So there are so many things I want to talk about, but I don't have the time, and time is almost fast spent. So that's why I made this set of resources available. So basically, just like, oops. Can anyone still see my screen?
No, it's showing blank. Please click the last slide.
Sorry. Oops. Yeah, so basically that is it. Sorry, no, I'll copy and paste it. I'll just copy it and paste in the chat session. So basically, there are ways to know funding for a course with PhD stipends. There's this website, PhD stipends, and some people don't know about it, but then I used it during my application. When you go there, you could see the stipends of other PhD students or master students, especially in the US. And then the idea is that anyone that enters a stipend, that means the person earning a stipend, that means there's funding for that person's course there. So I can't explain everything right now, but it's good to just visit that link. Then how to apply without a transcript. Like I said, I know that that's a major issue. You want to check out that link. Then my journey to Princeton University, like there's some things I did that I might have not remembered to say. You want to check that out. The statement of purpose as well. Like I said, the bullet point thing, if you're confused about how to go about that, you can check that out. Then reading the statement of purpose that got me into Princeton, you can check it out to ensure that your statement of purpose has a flow. Because another thing I know about people's statement of purpose is that, statements that I've read is that at times there's no flow. Like, you use connecting words, just some things you should use. So if you follow the pattern of my own statement of purpose, then I'm sure that your statement of purpose will have that flow at the end of the day. And then review it yourself. That's just cross-checking some things that need to be there. Like, ensure you run your statement of purpose through Grammarly, not just statement of purpose, like any other thing you want to do. And another tip is that whatever they say is optional, ensure you fill it up. Like some people will say COVID-19 impact statement is optional. No, whatever they say is optional, you have to fill it up. What should they call this thing? They may say teaching, they'll say writing sample optional. No, you need to turn in your publication. The teaching experience optional. No, narrate what you did. So use every single, whatever they say is optional, ensure you are always like hitting the nail on the head. Like, don't take any optional as optional. Ensure you use that, because that might just be what will differentiate you from another candidate. Then I said how to get this full scholarship with bad grades. Basically, like, there are some things you could do. If you have like bad grades, not bad grades, I mean, you just like you have a low CGPA for whatever reason. It doesn't mean you cannot get the full scholarships. And some scholarships are based on like leadership experiences. So you can always get work experience. You can always explain yourself, your statement of purpose about why you got that bad grade. And you can always like just leverage the other area, because like applications in the US are not evaluated like only based on your transcript. No, they kind of do different areas, kind of evaluate other areas as well. Then how to get an application fee waiver from any university. Yeah, so most times you will not get it if you don't ask. So you want to ensure you ask. And who will you ask? Ask the program coordinator. Then Marketawa scholarship. There are some scholarships that will help you cover this initial cost, like IELTS, GRE, and application fees. Like there's Education USA, which I was added to as a scholar after I got my PhD admission. And those ones, I mean, the company, or no, not the company, it is basically like, it's basically a program, yeah, under a US Embassy in Nigeria. So they have the Lagos and Abuja branch. So you want to keep your eye on it for the next year if you're applying. I don't know when you want to apply, but keep your eye on it. Education USA. I think there's also ISI scholarship, but I don't really have much information about them because I didn't win that one. Education USA, yes, I can talk about that. Marketawa scholarship as well. Marketawa scholarship also applies for IELTS, GRE, and application fees, and then they can help you out with at least one issue that people have majorly is the cost. So if you can figure out, like an organization that would cover those costs for you, then it will be good for you. So you're also going to write essays, a lot of essays. So try to sharpen your writing skills. Then, like I said, how to send a reminder email to professors that have not replied. So any professor that you sent to have not replied before, you go to that link, you see a template, my own template I use as for my reminders, and then you can just like edit that a bit and use it as well. So basically that is everything I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I hope I kept to time. So like I said, I will copy this and paste in the chat section. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Promise. That was really a very enlightening session. We've gotten to learn a lot of stuff, and I believe those on the call to learn a thing or two from the session. If you want to look out for highlights on some of the points she made, please check the chat box. A lot of points have been stated out there on the chat box, just in case you missed a thing or two. Okay, so we'll be going straight up into the panel section. So we'll be having to introduce other speakers on the call. Please, Simeon, can I have the slide showcasing the other speakers? Okay. Okay, Simeon, please, can you go forward? Okay, thank you. Okay, so for one of our panelists, we have Mr. Freddy Bilombo. Really sorry. Okay, so Freddy is an MSc candidate in climate change and development at University of Reading, and a recipient of the prestigious Chevening Scholarship under the United Kingdom Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. Through this program, he examines the challenges of global environmental climate change and economic development with a focus on ecological economics. Freddy is also the 2019 World Bank Group Blog for Dev winner for the Republic of Congo, the former West and Central African coordinator of the Youth Transforming Africa, a youth engagement movement that promotes initiatives of young Africans who are transforming their communities with writing a thriving narrative of Africa. Before joining the University of Reading, Freddy was working for the Total Energies in the Republic of Congo and Angola from 2016 to 2021. He held several positions and started as an environmental health and safety EHS engineer, then subsea installation engineer and subsea safety project manager. At those positions, he saw day-to-day the value of extractives and the energy sector, the potential pitfalls in terms of sustainability, and the real need for affordable reliable, safe, and environmentally friendly energy for all people. He holds an industrial engineering degree from UCAC ICAM University in Cameroon. So thank you so much, Mr. Freddy, for making yourself available to join us in this discussion. We'll look forward to having our next, okay, yes. So our next panel member is Mr. Malcom Wright. He is a serial entrepreneur who graduated from the University of Toronto. His expertise around pedagogy, relationship management, and process streamlining has given him the essential skills needed to grow and scale ventures. Within the realm of education, Malcolm has been able to organize and assist with the successful placement of over 200 international students into Canadian institutions in just over 2 years. As a senior education consultant at Link Education Consulting Incorporation, he has always done his due diligence when finding institutions that best meet the needs of his students. With this responsibility of overseeing emerging international markets such as Nigeria, Turkey, and Hong Kong, he showcases his versatility and attention to detail by handling the various demands of catering to multiple countries, from enrolling students into top-notch Canadian institutions to finding accommodation. Malcolm has always taken initiative to provide a personalized service that sets his clients up for success. Furthermore, the responsibility of coordinating international teams has given him the ability to open the doors of international businesses that look to thrive in the Canadian economy. Thank you so much, Mr. Malcolm, for making yourself available to attend this webinar and share your experience. Okay, so our next panelist is Peter Agbo. Peter Ebuka Agbo is an experienced and professional brand social media strategist and a recruitment/business consultant, having the capacity to combine various activities, projects, and interests in making positive differences in people's lives. Peter is the founder of Wright Services, a full-service employment agency specialized in meeting the staffing needs of companies and individuals in the fast-moving customer goods sector. Peter is also the social media strategist and event promoter at Nobelum, a not-for-profit social enterprise located in Toronto, Canada, dedicated to carving out a space in the technology industry to increase diversity and inclusion for Black and Indigenous people of color. Peter also works with the Link Education Consulting Incorporation as the lead marketer, Nigerian operations. Link Education is an educational management company located in Toronto, Canada, that's firmly built on the passion of providing opportunities for the global community. Having a passion to promote Black startups and changing lives positively has promoted me in this career field. He holds a bachelor's in technology in statistics from the University of Technology, Owerri, Imo State, Nigeria. So thank you so much. Those are panelists, and from their profiles, dissertations, you can see that they are really, really rich, and a lot of information will be passed on during this session. So we'll be going forward to the panel session. If you have any questions so far, please do well to share on the chat box. For now, Mr. Wright made the mention of having a little bit of slight information to share with us on Canada movement. So please, we'll be giving him a mostly 10 minutes to share that information with us before we move fully into the panel session. Mr. Wright, please, you have the platform.
You guys got me nervous. We got a bunch of, a room full of leaders in here, and hopefully I'll be able to shake each and every one of your hands in Canada one day. So my name is Malcom Wright. I'm the Senior Education Consultant at Link Education Consulting, Inc. I'm actually also the COO of Nobelum, where we have a mandate of supporting 100 Black-owned businesses by 2025 in Canada. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what I do and my day-to-day operations when considering education. So just got a few slides for you guys. All right, so Link Education. Who we are. We're a team of professionals with over 25 plus years of experience in the education industry. We have branches in Hong Kong, Brazil, Turkey, Nigeria, Pakistan, France, and the Czech Republic. And of course, we want to make sure that we acknowledge the coordinators of this event and know that we have a partnership in supporting each other in bringing international students across the whole world and giving that opportunity to like-minded individuals who are trying to be the leaders of the new global economy. So what we do in particular is we take academic transcripts, we take your English proficiency, and then we submit the applications. So generally speaking, what we want to make sure that you're eligible for particular programs prior to placing you. We are a personalized service. We want to make sure that all of the individuals that are actually applying for different programs are eligible for those programs. And the best way to do that is trying to pre-screen prior to actually engaging with you all. So just in Canada in particular, you could pick your choice. There's universities, there's colleges, and postgrad programs as well. So generally speaking, universities in Canada in particular cost around 20 to 50,000 CAD. You need to set over 70 to 75% average and IELTS 6.5. There's also other different types of language proficiency like TOEFL and PTE, and sometimes you could even get into schools with their WIG as well. College in particular costs around $10 to $25,000 a year. You only need about 60 to 70% average, and your IELTS needs a 6.0. The difference between university and college in particular would be university is more theoretical based, where college is a little bit more hands-on and prepares you for the workplace. And postgraduate certificates are actually our bread and butter. We know that there's a lot of Nigerians that have actually studied four-year programs within their own respective countries. And generally speaking, we would say that postgraduate programs kind of diversify your skills, but also it is a pathway to actually immigrate within Canada as well. So this is 12 to 20K tuition fee. You must complete an undergrad, as I stated. And generally speaking, the minimum requirement would be IELTS 6.0. Generally speaking, I would say 6.5 with no band less than 6.0 as well. Here are some of our partner institutions: Georgian College, University of Windsor, Conestoga, Centennial College. These are all credible institutions that will be able to gear you up for international success. So undergraduate programs, business, tech, science, humanities, over 1,000 different programs that are available at your disposal. So generally speaking, we can actually place you into like-minded institutions that will be able to gear you up to whatever aspirations that you have. So if you want to go into entrepreneurship, if you want to go to early childhood education, generally speaking, right now, Canada is very open to business because unfortunately, not like me, but a lot of Canadians are lazy. So we look for highly skilled immigrants to actually take a part in our labor force. Some popular programs for postgraduate certificates would be nursing and personal support workers, because we're in dire need for individuals that have this type of background, science background. International business management for all those that want to deal with finances, software development, because there's like a little silent war going around within the technology industry, and early childhood educators as well. So as I was touching upon a little bit earlier, this is a pathway to permanent residency. Generally speaking, these are 1 to 2 year programs that when considering the postgraduate certificate. And what ends up happening is as soon as you graduated, you actually receive something called the PGWP, the Postgraduate Work Permit Program. This means that you have actually a work permit for 1 year after you've graduated from your postgraduate degree. Let's say that you went into software development, and then all of a sudden, after you've graduated your program, you found a place within a Canadian firm that uses your expertise. Within 1 year time, you'll be eligible to actually apply for the permanent residency within Canada. All of these things that I've said takes into like the point system into consideration. So you get points for your English proficiency, you get points for your Canadian education, you get points for your age. All these kind of accumulate, and this is your way to actually fully immigrate into Canada. So some of the admissions requirements, as I had touched before, you'll need your academic transcript, you'll need your diploma, and you'll need some sort of English proficiency to show that you are able to actually understand the program delivery. There are oftentimes people are actually mature students as well, might have not necessarily had a formal education. But if you're over the years of 20 years old and you've been out of school for at least 2 years, what ends up happening is you'll be eligible to apply as a mature student. But of course, what the Canadian institutions also take into account is work experience. So if you have any relative work experience, it goes a long way as well. Here are some of the application deadline dates. Right now, I would say that we're really gearing up to the winter intake has passed, but we're really gearing up for the May intake in particular. We work on a tri-semester system where there's fall, winter, and summer. So right now, the priority is May intake. That is filling up very quickly, but all in due time, it will segue back into September. And that's where generally most programs are actually delivered. So why Canada? Canada has always been considered one of the top 3 most livable countries in the world, very multicultural society. I don't think there's an actual real Canadian, to be honest. There's a whole bunch of individuals come into Canada. You know, you have your Chinatown, you have your Jamaican spots. Like there's a very big prominent Nigerian population here as well. So everyone is a lot more comfortable because they know that everyone is so diverse as well. Canada is considered one of the education leaders in the world, and we are also known for having some of the lowest tuition fees for amongst English-speaking countries. So generally speaking, just to give you guys a little bit of a outlook regarding why a lot of students come, it's kind of tied into immigration as well. Just for 2021 alone, 401,000 new permanent residents. As I said, Canada is in dire need for actually highly skilled immigrants to take part in our labor force. Accommodation, there's residence, homestay, and rent. I'm not a real estate agent, but of course I do go above and beyond to give that a personalized service where we'll be able to make sure that you're comfortable while living here too. Our residents are usually 13 to 21,000 a year. That includes a meal plan, and there's options between private, split, and dormitory. Homestay is usually one of the most convenient placements because you actually have your own room, you live with a Canadian family, and breakfast and dinner is included as well. That's around 10 to 14K a week, 230 to 245 CAD per week. And then there's rent. Canada or Toronto in particular is not necessarily the cheapest place, but then again, I kind of highballed this number just to kind of give you guys realistic expectations. But you can have the rent goes between 1,500 to 2,000 CAD a month. But of course, it doesn't include food and etc. And as I was saying, we offer personalized service. We're not just treating our students as numbers. We also give you access to our network. We can make arrival arrangements like airport pickups and drop-offs. You have a direct point of contact. That's why people say that I don't sleep. I'm connected 24/7, where internationally, whether it be Nigeria, whether it be Turkey, Hong Kong, I'm very used to all of the time differences. And additional services would be health insurance, cultural adaptation, so we don't leave you blind while you're walking into our woods, progress report monitoring, monthly checkups, and emergency contact support as well. Here's my information. I will also drop it into the chat. But I'd like to thank all the organizers and for this event and even having me to speak briefly about what I do. You guys are the future, we're all trying to be global citizens, and I look forward to seeing you guys all here in Canada. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. That was really brief and you kept the time. Thank you. Okay, so we're moving straight into the panel section. If you have any questions, please drop them now. I'll be having Mr. Freddy, Promise, and also Mr. Peter, right, during the panel session. Okay, So our first question is going to Mr. Freddy. Said, okay, what technical writing tools would I need as someone who is making applications into to graduate studies? So what technical writing tools would I need?
Yes, thank you so much for the question. And just to start, I will just tell you a story, a brief story, so you will understand why I have started with that story. I never paid for university because to do my first master in engineering, I got a fully funded scholarship from Total in my country, in Congo, from the oil and gas company. So I got like a fully funded scholarship, and what I have noticed, and right now I still have another fully funded scholarship to do another master. What I have noticed is like you really have to learn like a storytelling approach, and this is one of the most important things, even when you are writing the SOP with Mr. Wright or with Promise. And another fact, you should demonstrate like your ability to have soft skills. Soft skills are really important to market yourself. And one of the easiest way to learn soft skills is to volunteer with like Society of Petroleum Engineering in Port Harcourt in Nigeria. I know you have a lot of Society of Petroleum Engineers in Nigeria. And so I think those are the most two important things: learning how to write with a storytelling approach and having like soft skills to market yourself. And talking about technical writing, what you can have to secure like some fully funded scholarship, like funded scholarship in leadership and so on, you can learn how to write like blog for development, as the one of the one I won, because most of the time we as Africans, we are always complaining about the narrative of Africa portraying by Western media, and we don't have people who are really writing about what is happening in our communities and so on. So it's really important to learn how to write some blog for development. I mean, you can work about people in your community who have started like a volunteering activity, teaching tech or mathematics, so people can have more opportunities to apply for scholarship and so on. And so I think, globally, these are the main things people should learn. And also, if you can learn how to code, coding is not especially a writing skills, but it can help you to secure some grants, because sometimes they are looking for people who knows how to code with Python, R, Stata. So it could also help you to do some volunteering activity, data analysis, and writing some technical report relating to data analysis. So that's it.
Okay, thank you so much, for that explicit explanation on the technical writing tools and some other tools that we would need to enhance our chances of being able to come out in our application process. So I have another question, and this goes to Mr. Peter. A question says, as a secondary school graduate, can I get fully funded scholarship in medical science in Canada?
Okay, I think I'll throw the question back to Mr. Malcom. I think he's in the best position to answer that question. Please, Mr. Malcom.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So it all depends on what you do to earn your scholarship, right? There are different scholarships that can be based on essay writings or research or volunteer experience. So it all kind of depends on what you are offering or how you actually are a step ahead of other people that might go for those type of scholarships. So I'm not going to say that it's necessarily impossible, but you do have to make sure you are a step ahead of all the other people that might apply.
Okay, thank you. So there you have it. just know what you want and then be able to accumulate the information you have to be able to make your chances higher than the rest of your competitions. So I have another question here. It says, is it possible for someone to obtain a good offer if his work experience is not in line with his academic degrees? Please, Promise, can you attend to this question?
Okay, so basically, like if your work experience is not in line, another good way to show that, oh, can everyone hear me, please? Okay, thank you. Yeah, so if your work experience is not in line, you have to ensure that you write publications about what's going on in your field, right? Because that's another way to show that you have good work experience. And then if you're thinking about where to start from, then start from writing reviews. Start from writing reviews. That's the easiest way to start from. That's the easiest way to start. So basically, there are many things you can do, but try to just, that publication is a very good way to show that you have like good research experience, and try to like reach out to professors as well. Because if you can get the professor to like to approve you in joining their lab, despite you have a different work experience, then that would be a good thing. But the best way for you to do that is to write the publications, and then write publications on things that are relevant. Write reviews. The way to write review is that you have to read up like maybe 5 research articles of things that happen in your field, like the latest trends, not on things that have happened like long before. Then that's just how to go about it. So that way you can show that you have research experience. Then also, it's not just about it's not just about your work experience. Like, try to show other skills you have, your leadership experience. You can also like how you took initiative in the current job you are doing. So you can use your work experience to just show like you have good leadership skills if you are doing things in your office that involve leadership, basically. So that's what I would say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Promise. Okay, so I have one more question to Freddy. Said, can you throw more light on your MSc application process so people can actually have an idea of what to expect in trying to get a funded MSc studies in the UK?
Yes. So before talking about my application process, as I stated, I was working in the oil and gas industry as an engineer. But now what I'm doing is an interdisciplinary program between like social science and engineering. So what happened is, like, in my statement of purpose, I stated that I was volunteering for the World Bank for 2 years because I was the head of West and Central Africa for the youth movement in Africa. And my time with the World Bank really helped me because we were organizing conferences on development topics. And also, apart from that, I was watching blogs from them, like blogs on development issue related to STEM and also the future of education and other development topics. So I have like blogs written on their website and published by them. And also all the volunteering activity we were doing on the ground and online really helped me to write in my SOP to explain why I was moving from an engineering career to an interdisciplinary career. This is, as stated before by Promise, it's always about the way you are selling yourself, how you can explain the leadership position you took or the volunteering experience you got, and how it can help in your future career. So this is what they really want you to do. It doesn't matter if you don't really have a background in the topic. Me, for instance, I would like to be like an energy economist right now. So what I was explaining is like, oh, I have been working over the 5 past years in the oil and gas industry, and with my technical skills now, I would like to learn more about economics and development, so I can work on designing a new energy project in Africa, not only from the engineering part, but for the economics and financing part. So it's all about how you can sell it. And also, let's say my leadership experience helped a lot because when I was applying for chevening, they were asking you, "Oh, what is your main experience?" And also the way you are selling things. For instance, during my interview, I was talking about my passion for ending energy poverty in Africa. You know, because we know even in Nigeria with NEPA, we still have load sheddings and everything. So what I was telling them is like, okay, now from my background in the oil and gas sector, I know the technical part of the energy sector, but now I would like to know the economics part so I can work from like donor organization or NGO or international organization to tackle the challenges of energy poverty in Africa. And one of the main important things about tackling the challenges of energy poverty is like, if you can electrify rural area or urban cities, people will increase their income because you will also improve the healthcare services of people or access to better education. Because today, when we are talking about the ICT education, we are talking about machine learning, data science, artificial intelligence, but how can you educate your people if you don't have access to electricity? So you really need to connect your future goal with the community problems you are willing to tackle. So this is how I did that.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Freddy. So, but based on what you've said so far, I would like you to throw more light on the measures you take to stay updated with industry news, especially in areas where you would want to focus on your MSc studies.
Yeah, thank you. First, I'm also a member of the Society of Petroleum Engineers in my country. So attending this SPE meeting in Congo was also a good way to be up to date. And also, you can just go online on Twitter. You have a lot of professors in the field you want. For instance, if you just type energy economics, you will have a lot of professors or international journals. So you can just follow those account and you will be aware. And also, you have a lot of pages related to like development issue. You can read like technical report on the UN website or the Economist. I know you should pay, but some of the articles are free. Just follow the different pages of international organization of people who are like famous in the field. For instance, when you are talking about energy economics in the US, you have, for instance, Professor Narasimha from Yale or Dr. Gilligan from Yale as well. So it's just about what you really want, and also talk to people, because sometimes you don't really know what you want to do because people around you are not doing the same career pathway than you. And also most of the time in our countries, people do believe that the career pathway is like is something linear. So because you are an engineer, they're expecting you to be an engineer your entire life. No, you can decide to be like an expert in finance related to engineering, or you can change your mind at some point. So it's really good to talk to people in the field. Even though those people are not in your field, you can discover how to connect their field with what you are doing actually, and doing a new master degree or an interdisciplinary PhD. So it's really good to attend forum, like international events online. And also with the COVID-19, we have a lot of free online events. You can also follow pages like Carnegie Endowments, and you have a lot of content online. On Twitter, you have everything.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm sure everyone is like getting down those information and learning a lot of things. So I'm over to your Promise. And you did mention something about writing the papers for people who their work experience does not collaborate with what they studied initially, and how it's going to affect them in making their applications to graduate school. So can you like mention how to go about the paper writing, like the processes one will go, especially when it comes to publishing. Students sometimes do not have the whole funds required to pay for professional publishing houses. So if there are other means of going about the whole paper publications.
Okay, so I think the idea is that just search online, because from Google is where you really get like a lot of information. Like the one I use is Archive, and I don't know if like, okay, you just need to search for a journal that has a good impact factor, basically, because it depends on your niche as well. So you need to search for like journals, and you need to submit your another thing you can do is to like, there all these international conferences that Freddy just talked about. Most times they actually request for paper to be submitted to them. So if you're a student, you can write up a paper and then submit it for those conferences. That's you volunteer that you're going to present your paper at that conference. And most times they just ask for an abstract. So if you're just starting, that's a very good way to start. Write an abstract, check the different areas you're talking about. Like there's this, there are different, it depends on your niche actually. Like if you're in machine learning, then there's women in machine learning workshop. There is Black in AI. So you just write an abstract of like 2 pages and then you submit to them. And then if they find it interesting, they ask you to present. And then that way they can just accept your paper like that and you don't have to pay for them to accept it. So I think your best bet is to search for like conferences in your niche, especially those ones like I mentioned, women in machine learning, those ones that are like for minorities basically, and then just submit your paper there. So you can just submit the abstract, which at times it can even be just a page. Just write, let the abstract have what you want to do, the problem you're solving, what others have done in that area, why what they did is not sufficient, and what you are doing that is changing the entire game. So that is like the best way to kind of like publish for free. Yeah, so, and also another thing, ensure that whatever journal you're publishing in has a good impact factor. Don't like, just check it out, see what's going on there, and that's just it. Exactly, you can do it for SP, Society of Petroleum Engineers, also up to that. So yeah, thank you, that's it.
Okay, so thank you so much, Promise. Thank you, Mr. Freddy. Thank you, Mr. Malcom. Thank you, Mr. Peter. So far, this session was very interesting. We got to know more information on the processes involved in schooling in Canada, and the fact that we're open to services that would help to make the process easier. Thank you so much, Promise. It was very enlightening to know on these processes involved in applications and how to contact potential supervisors that would help in the whole PhD application process. And thank you so much, Mr. Freddy. It's very, very enlightening getting the technical aspect of this whole process. Thank you so much. We'll be moving forward to the photo section. So please, can we all, if you can, please turn on your camera so we can have a photo session. Simeon, please let us know when we are good.
Okay.
Are we done?
Not yet. Okay, we are good.
Okay, thank you so much, Simeon. So as you all know, this monthly webinar is brought to you by Study Global in Nigeria, your one way to success when it comes to admissions processes abroad. It's done in collaboration with the Society of Petroleum Engineers, SP Port Harcourt section, and we'll be having an announcement from SP. Senior, please can you take the SP announcement?
Okay, good evening all, and thank you for the wonderful presentation from all our speakers. I really want to appreciate what you have done this evening. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm just going to run through the SP announcement. So SP is Society of Petroleum Engineer. So it's a platform for all the students, recent graduates, young professionals, senior professionals. Basically, it's a worldwide forum for individual members, organization, serving managers, engineers, scientists, and all professional worldwide in the upstream, midstream, and downstream sector of the oil and gas industry for the exchange of technical knowledge. Okay, as you can see on your screen, the benefit of being a member of SP, you can see you have a strong industrial network of leaders, peers, and mentors. So even being a student of any institution, you can be a member of SP, and you can have strong industrial network from those who are ahead of you, those who are already in the industry. You can connect with them through the platform of SP and gain more insight on what they are doing. And also we have a live technical event that you can also participate in and also enhance industry knowledge and so more. So for our students, there are several resources that you can visit and search for. Probably you're doing your research or your whatever paper you want to write, you can go and look at these resources to get more papers that you want to write. And also about SP Port Harcourt session, we are the second largest in Nigeria, covering about 6 states with 13 student chapters. So if you want to be a member of SP, all you need to do is free for students. You just need to type sp.org on the web browser. You visit there. For students, it's free. While for those professionals, those who want to join as a professional, the rate is 26,000, while for renewal is 21. So all students that are on the call, if you're a student, you have not registered, just visit sp.org and follow the process. Register is for free. While for those who are already a member of SP, if you're on the call, please try to renew your membership for the upcoming year. And also, if you have any inquiry or anything, you can also visit us or on our social media platform, type SP Port Harcourt section in any of the social media platform, or better send a message to sppc@gmail.com or contact any of the email address you can see on the screen, and we'll get back to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Simeon. So as you know, Study Globally is an organization that handles admission processes for students from undergraduate level up to PhD in US, Canada, and UK. And so the application processes handling is actually free of charge, though we also provide other services such as scholarship information to students. We help in writing statement of purpose for those who do not have, and much more. So please look us up on our various social media handles at Study Globally Nigeria. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can also reach us via our email. Please check the chat box to see the correct format of our email addresses. We have our offices in Port Harcourt and also in Lagos. So do well to reach out to us for the application processes and be certain that everything will be done smoothly. So we're going forward to the closing remark / the vote of thanks. which will be taken by Itoro Kofi. Itoro, please, can you handle that for us?
Yes, good evening, everyone. So thank you very much for making our time to turn up for this program and for sticking around until the end. Apologies if we took longer than expected, but I'm sure that the experience was definitely worth it, and we are all leaving the meeting with more knowledge about navigating our study about experiences, and we are better informed about the steps and the processes that we have to undergo to gain admission and secure admission in our various schools of interest. So we are looking forward to seeing each and every one of you at our future events. So as Queen has already mentioned, don't forget to follow us on our social media handles that have been dropped in the comment section so that you can stay up to date with all of our future meetings and all of our available offers. So thank you once again for attending and have a wonderful evening.
Okay, thank you so much, Itoro. So we're going straight to the closing prayer because that will be the end of this month's monthly webinar, and we look forward to having you in our December edition of the Study Global in Nigeria monthly webinar. So I'm just going to call on Mr. Kachi to help us with our closing prayer.
Okay, Eternal Rock of Ages, we thank you for the success of this event. Thank you for all the speakers. Thank you for all the participants. Thank you for all the organizers. Thank you for all the team members. Thank you because we know you've armed us with a lot of information that will help us fulfill our dreams. We give you all praise. Our prayer is that, Lord, at the end of today's event, let's our dreams come through in Jesus' name. And our prayer is that by the time we come here for the next webinar next month, we shall be bigger bonnets of joy in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you next month. Goodbye and good night.